So yesterday we passed by Jericho. So we have the baptism of Jesus, and then immediately after the baptism, the temptation. Temptation took place on the mountain above Jericho. And then immediately after the temptation, Jesus came up into the Galilee. He went to Cana, and there he went to the wedding feast, and he performed the first of his signs. So you see how we're trying to do things in order here in the Galilee. Then he comes back to his hometown, Nazareth. He comes into the synagogue. This synagogue built over the original synagogue. And he came to Nazareth, where he had been brought up. And he went to the synagogue, as was his custom, on the Sabbath day. And he stood up and he read from the prophet Isaiah. The Spirit of the Lord is upon me, because he anointed me to preach good news to the poor. He has sent me to proclaim release to the captives, and recovery of sight to the blind, and liberty to those oppressed. And he closed the book and gave it back to the attendant. And he began to teach. And then he said to them, and then they said, "Is this not Joseph's son?" And then he said to me, "Doubtless you will quote this proverb, 'Physician, heal yourself.' Truly I say to you, no prophet is acceptable in his own country. But in truth I tell you, there were many widows in Israel in the days of Elijah, when heaven was shut up for 3 years and 6 months, when there came a great famine over the land, and Elijah was sent to none of them, but only to Zarephath, to the land of Sidon, to the widow there. During the time of the famine, Elijah was sent not to a Jew, but to a Gentile. And there were many lepers in Israel at the time of the prophet Elisha. And who was healed? Not a Jew. Naaman the Syrian. And when they heard this, they were filled with rage. And they took him outside the city to a cliff to murder him. Because he said, "I've come to set everyone free from the power of sin and death. I've come to set the Gentiles free." What did they lose sight of? Their mission. Later, Jesus will come back to Nazareth, and he is unable to work any miracles here. And he was amazed, the scripture says, he was amazed at their lack of faith. There's a deep connection here, and you must catch this. If you don't give your faith away, it will dry up and die. Like the Dead Sea. See, they lost their mission. They weren't about sharing their faith with others. They lost their faith, and it dried up and died. You have to be on mission, or it will dry up and die. The only reason, there's only two reasons you're still on the face of the earth. To become holy and to be on mission. And if you're not doing that, what the hell are you doing? And we can do it. You must commit yourself to a deep life of prayer, and we must be on mission. So when you go back, people are going to ask you, "What's been going on? What have you been doing?" "Well, I went to the Holy Land." "Where?" And then tell them about it. Because they'll want to know. And tell them about your encounter with Jesus and Mary. And make sure you carry with you all the time a miraculous medal, a rosary from the Holy Land, a $20 cross that's worth $1. Sunday, tell them about your pilgrimage to the Holy Land. Tell them about your favorite place. Tell them about how you experienced Jesus and Mary. And then say, may I give you a gift? May I give you a gift from the Holy Land? And then give them something. And then follow up with them. I did this in December. So I bought an icon, a little icon for each of my kids. And then at Christmas, I gave it to them. And my son's fiance is not Catholic. So my son takes this icon home, he puts it up, and about a month later, his fiance calls me. Mr. Schersley, can I have one of those icons of Mary? I said, yes, I'll get you. We have to be on mission or our faith will dry up. Tell people where you've been. Tell them of your encounter. May I give you a gift? And then follow up with them. And the best way to follow up is this. Ask them, is there anything in your life that I could pray for? Is there anything in your life that I could pray for? Do you have any concerns, worries, anything going on? Okay, I'll pray for that. And then a week later, text them, call them, send them an email. How is that thing? I'm praying for it. 1, they'll be amazed you remembered. 2, they'll be amazed you cared. 3, that you did it and that you followed up. And then you ask them, have you prayed about that? Because the most powerful way to lead people to God is to get them to pray. All they have to do is pray. Have you prayed about that? Most people don't think they're worthy to pray. Have you prayed about that? No, I haven't. Why not? I don't know. I don't know how. I can teach you. You just talk to God. In your own words. Because you don't have to be Catholic, you don't have to be Christian, you don't have to have an annulment, you don't have to be baptized, you don't even have to be a good person to pray. Anybody can pray to God. Okay, let's remember this rule.